Hamilton County, which is Cincinnati. It's the county where Cincinnati sits in Ohio. One is just total lack of the police or the prosecutors to dismiss stupid charges. You know, a charge that gets filed, however it gets charged, you know, an officer made an errant or a jealous or, a prideful decision to charge something or overcharge something. It just doesn't go away easily. There's so few ways to get rid of a charge, even if it's a stupid charge, even if the alleged victim wants the charge to go away, even if the alleged victim's family wants it to go away, even if the alleged victim's family or the alleged victim want to reduce charge. It's almost like, I mean, I think this is true, but it's like their stats are being tracked as line prosecutors, and they're worried about their stats. You know, oh, I can't dismiss this, I can't reduce this. You know, that'll affect my stats, and that leads to some just ridiculous waste of time. It leads to ridiculous periods of over incarceration of people. It is just, I mean, it's stupid, and there's so many of these frivolous or unnecessary or overcharged cases that just do not go away. And it's because of an utter ethical failure in leadership from the prosecutor's office here. Another thing is police practices. We have a woefully, I'm talking mainly about Cincinnati's police department. The practices are just abysmal. They are frequently stopping people illegally. They're frequently racially profiling people. They are frequently using excessive force against people. They do all kinds of things every single day, and we get all the body-worn camera, and no amount of litigation has made it stop in the criminal court level. And I'm looking at 30 motions to suppress I filed just in the last 8 months. Mostly on illegal stop and seizure cases, or cases where they're just not reading my juvenile clients their Miranda rights. So those things happen all the time. I think it's also very frustrating, the bond situation that our clients find themselves in terms of pretrial detention. Giving someone a money bond that's astronomical that they can't pay as a means of protecting community safety isn't the only way community safety can be protected. And in fact, it's an unconstitutional joke to give someone a $2 million bond that isn't actually meant to be able to be paid. It's meant to hold them in jail. Bonds are terrible. The judges give people bonds they can't pay routinely, and they end up sitting in jail for a long time on some of these stupid charges. And even on charges that are not stupid, they end up sitting in jail for way too long, partially because discovery is so lagged behind. Defense attorneys, it takes us too long to get discovery from the prosecutor's office, which leads to more pretrial detention. So those things are very frustrating. The Core 101 program as a law school partnership project fellow, and also 1 year, I believe, of the clerkship program for law students. The first thing that really got to me was in the assigned reading materials, reading a letter that Jerry Spence had written to his colleague. And what that letter that's prioritized in the Gideon's materials as about is about how everyone deserves counsel, and everyone deserves high quality representation, and nobody really ought to be sitting in a cage. And the letter is also partially about not judging other people, being open and capable of representing anyone, because that's what they deserve constitutionally. And so it's taught me to be a very non-judgmental person, which I do credit Gideon's for, and I'm very proud of I'm proud of myself today that I've been able to become so non-judgmental, that I've been able to become so understanding of other people. I don't judge people for making what others might perceive as bad moral choices, because I know that anyone can make a bad moral choice under the right circumstances or the wrong circumstances. I think my practice of law has changed because of that too. I have so many notes and memories from some of the Gideon's curriculum when I was in Atlanta from the past few years. And one of them was from one of my faculty members. Her name is Delia. She's an excellent faculty member. And she talks about at jury trials, she thinks it's really important to show the jury how to treat your client, because the jury is looking to you as the attorney to know how your client sitting next to you ought to be treated, ought to be viewed. She wanted everyone to know that you should be respectful to your client at all times. In court, you should be interested in them, you should be intrigued by them, you should be curious about them. And one of the things I remember the best about when she was giving this lesson was she said when she's in court, she likes to get down on the ground right beside them in court, right in front of the jury, and get down on one knee next to their seat behind counsel table, so that you can whisper to them or ask them a question or show them a document. Don't just lean over to them and show them the document. You can get right down there on the floor. Put your fancy suit pants, the knee of your suit pants or your dress or what have you, right on the ground. Because your job is to serve them and be subservient to them. And by doing that, by really getting in your client's space and showing them a document and taking the care to whisper to them, you're showing the jury that you care about them, you're invested in their case, you're a team, that this person deserves teamwork, that they're a team player, and that you, an attorney, someone who is knowledgeable and should have is someone who should be trusted, trust this person next to you. So that's things like that. There's so many lessons like that I picked up at Gideon's, but it's just one of the ones that sticks with me. In the jury trials I've had, I've really done my best, not just to try to show the jury in trial, but I think that also starts with developing a relationship with your client ahead of the trial, so that you can not just be fake modeling it the day of, but so that you can earnestly model your respect for your client on the day of the jury trial. I think that this is among the most important legal jobs that a person can do. And there might be a lot of us throughout the country. We might not be paid all that well, but it is truly the most important job. I was at, I think it was maybe 2 summers ago, but there was a soldier there who's a public defender. I think he was in the Marine Corps before he became a public defender. I think after he left the Marine Corps, he became a public defender and was also a Gideon's Promise Fellow. And he wasn't in my class, so I didn't know him very well, but I remember he got up on the stage to give some testimonial about why he feels the job is important. And he said something like, I spent 10 years as a soldier in the Marine Corps. And now I've spent, 10 years as a public defender. And he said, I feel like I have defended our country and our Constitution more now as a soldier, as a public defender than I ever have as a soldier. And I thought that was a really great way to encapsulate what it is that we do. I think that we really are the backbone of the Constitution and the backbone of liberty in this country. I think everyone could learn so much from being a public defender and connecting with a community like Gideon's to learn how to be the best public defender you can be.